In the heart of Maple Hollow, Oregon, a chilling silence hung over the woods that October morning. A stranger wandered off Trail 6, swallowed by the fog and shadows, and unearthed something so disturbing it would drag a forgotten nightmare back into the light. A case closed in 1999, a case that haunted no one because it was forgotten until now. He had veered only 20 feet off the main path, looking for his dog. That's when he saw it. Half buried in the underbrush, a rusted, padlocked tin box. It shouldn't have been there, and what was inside shocked even the most seasoned investigators. Inside the box were 7 photographs, all Polaroids. Each one showed the same girl, different locations, same terrified expression, and one had a date scribbled on the back, April 14, 1999, the day Emma Sloan vanished. Emma Sloan, 17, honor student. She went missing while walking home from choir practice, just 3 blocks from her house. There were no signs of struggle, no witnesses. Only her backpack was found in a drainage ditch. Her disappearance, well, it made headline. For about a week. Then it went cold. Investigators found nothing. No DNA, no credible tips, not a single piece of physical evidence. Emma was labeled a runaway. Case closed. The family was devastated. End of story. Until that tin box. Reopened with urgency, the original case files were pulled. There were inconsistencies. According to the police transcript, Emma's mother, Dana Sloan, reported Emma had been acting scared weeks prior. She kept her bedroom light on. Wouldn't walk anywhere alone. None of this had made it into the final report. Why? Why was this detail buried? And, who took those photographs? A new team retraced the case's steps. One Polaroid showed a cabin in the background. Local real estate records traced it to an abandoned property, owned by George Lasky, a reclusive man who died in 2008. But when police searched the cabin, they found no remains, no blood, no signs Emma had ever been there. Just a single item tucked in the chimney flue, a silver bracelet, etched inside to E.S. Love Always Dad. It was confirmed to be Emma's. And then, well, the stranger came forward again. He'd returned to the site. This time, he brought a metal detector, and found something else, buried under a tree root nearby, a disposable camera, still intact. Developed photos revealed Emma, this time, standing, looking directly at the lens, mouth taped, eyes swollen. Behind her, a man's silhouette, unmistakably holding a newspaper, dated April 17, 1999, 3 days after she vanished. A shadowy figure, never identified. The case exploded online. Internet sleuths tracked down old yearbooks, town records, pointed fingers at long-deceased suspects, former teachers, neighbors, but nothing stuck. And then, the twist. 2 weeks after the photos were released, another anonymous package arrived at the sheriff's department. Inside, a VHS tape, unlabeled. The contents, unviewable. Magnetic damage, intentional. But one frame recovered, a timestamp. May 3, 1999. 1 full month after the case was closed. Emma was still alive, at least until then. To this day, her body has never been found. No arrests have been made. The man in the photo, never identified. But that tin box, those photographs, and the chilling frame from a decayed VHS were enough. The case remains open. And somewhere out there, someone knows exactly what happened to Emma Sloan. Voiceover. The first witness, a retired park ranger, recalled seeing a blue sedan parked near Trail 6 the morning Emma vanished. It was odd, he said. No one ever parks there. I saw a man in a baseball cap, but he turned away when I looked. The detail was never followed up in the original investigation. Voiceover. Transcript excerpt, April 15, 1999. Detective, did Emma mention anyone following her? Dana Sloan. She said someone was watching her from across the street. She was scared to walk home. The detective's notes end abruptly. No follow-up questions recorded. Voiceover. In a sealed evidence bag, police found a torn page from Emma's diary. The entry read, "If anything happens to me, it's not an accident." The handwriting trailed off, as if interrupted. The page was never entered into evidence logs. Voiceover. Auto captions. A week after the diary page surfaced, police received a late-night phone call from an untraceable number. The caller's voice was distorted, barely human. "I saw what happened to Emma," the voice whispered, "but it wasn't who you think." They claimed to have been in the woods that night, watching from behind the trees. "There were 2 people," the caller insisted. "One was Emma. The other, I've never seen before. They argued. Then, silence. Before detectives could ask more, the line went dead. Authorities tried to trace the call, but it led nowhere. Was this the real witness, or a cruel prank? The chilling statement cast new shadows over the case, raising more questions than answers. Voiceover, auto captions. Official records from that night remain heavily redacted, but in a recently leaked police transcript, fragments of a late-night conversation hint at something unsettling. Sound of shuffling papers, faint hum of a tape recorder. Detective 1, voice disguised. Subject claims to have seen both individuals, describes the second figure as not quite right. Clarify? Detective 2. He said the face was blurred, like it wouldn't stay still. When pressed, he repeated, "It wasn't a mask." Pause, static crackle. Detective 1. Did the subject provide any further details? Detective 2. Only that after the argument there was a flash of light, then everything went silent. He refused to elaborate, became agitated. Pages turning. Detective 1. Was the subject under the influence? Detective 2. Negative, but he kept insisting. Check the old cabin, there's something beneath the floorboards. Long silence, recorder clicks off. Auto captions. The transcript ends abruptly. Key names and locations are blacked out. What was found beneath the cabin floorboards? And why did the witness describe the second figure as not quite right? The mystery only deepens. Voiceover, auto captions. Weeks after the transcript leak, an anonymous source sent investigators a digital audio file. Its metadata dated back to the night Emma Sloan vanished. Sound of distorted static, faint wind, creaking wood. At first, the recording is nearly inaudible. Muffled voices, footsteps on old boards. Then a chilling whisper. "Don't look under the floor." Sudden thud, tape warble. The sound of hurried breathing fills the silence, followed by a low, guttural voice, unmistakably not human, repeating, "Leave now!" Auto captions, investigators enhance the audio. Beneath the distortion, a second voice, Emma's, can be heard pleading, "Please, don't let it out!" The tape ends with a scream and a final cryptic message, "It's not over." Voiceover, auto captions. Experts remain divided on the tape's authenticity, but for those who've listened, one thing is clear. Whatever happened beneath the cabin floorboards, it was never meant to be uncovered. Voiceover. In 2012, a hiker found a second tin box, this one empty, except for a single Polaroid. The photo showed the same woods, but this time a different girl. The date, April 14, 2012. The case was never connected. The mystery deepened. Voiceover. To this day, the files remain open. The evidence fragmented, unsettling, the truth just out of reach. Somewhere someone knows, but the woods keep their secrets, and the cold case stays cold. This is Vanished Whispers-TrueCrime. If you have any information on the disappearance of Emma Sloan, contact Deschutes County Sheriff's Office. And remember, some cold cases are only cold, until someone takes the wrong turn in the right woods. Vanished Whispers, where silence meets the truth. Just as the case seemed to settle back into silence, a new voice emerged from the shadows. Meet Adrian Keller, a local mechanic with a quiet demeanor, and a past he'd rather forget. Adrian had always kept to himself, haunted by memories of his younger days when he and Emma Sloan attended the same high school. Their paths rarely crossed, but he remembered her kindness, a smile in the hallway, a shared umbrella on a rainy day. But Adrian's connection to the case ran deeper than anyone suspected. For months, he had been receiving cryptic letters, unsigned, but eerily familiar. The handwriting matched that of the anonymous caller's notes, released to the public only days before. At first, Adrian dismissed them as cruel pranks, but one letter revealed details about Emma's disappearance that only someone close to her could have known. Driven by guilt and fear, Adrian stepped forward. In a trembling voice, he confessed to the investigators that the anonymous caller was not a stranger at all, but someone from their own community. Someone who once shared a secret with Emma and who had confided in Adrian years earlier. Adrian's testimony shattered the investigation wide open. The caller had been protecting not just themselves but a hidden truth about Emma's final days. With Adrian's evidence, a bundle of letters and a torn photograph showing Emma with the mysterious caller, the case took a dramatic turn. Investigators now had a new suspect, a new motive, and a glimmer of hope that Emma's story might finally see the light. The search for answers was no longer just about Emma Sloan. It was about the secrets we keep, the guilt we carry, and the courage it takes to finally speak the truth. But just as the case seemed to edge closer to resolution, a chilling revelation sent shockwaves through the investigation. As Adrian's evidence was meticulously examined, a forensic analyst noticed something odd, a watermark on the torn photograph, barely visible, matching a camera model used exclusively by law enforcement. the team grew uneasy. Why would evidence from the crime scene bear the mark of their own department? Reluctantly, they retraced the chain of custody, scrutinizing every officer and investigator involved. That's when the unthinkable surfaced. The shadowy figure in the old Polaroids, the same one glimpsed in the VHS footage, bore an uncanny resemblance to Detective Mark Hayes, one of the lead investigators on Emma's case. Detective Hayes had been with the team from the very beginning. He'd comforted Emma's family, reassured the public, and driven the search for answers with relentless determination. Now suspicion fell upon him. Was it possible that the person they trusted most had been hiding a devastating secret all along? As the truth unraveled, the investigation team was left reeling. Betrayal cut deeper than any cold case mystery. Colleagues who had worked side by side now questioned every memory, every late-night conversation, every piece of evidence they once held as fact. The fallout was immediate and emotional. Trust shattered. Friendships strained under the weight of suspicion. For Emma's loved ones, hope mingled with heartbreak as they faced the possibility that justice had been sabotaged from within. In the end, the real mystery was no longer just about Emma Sloan's disappearance. It was about the darkness that can hide behind even the most familiar faces, and the courage it takes to confront the truth no matter where it leads. As the truth about Detective Hayes finally came to light, the town of Millwood was left in a state of quiet mourning. For Emma Sloan's family, the revelation was devastating. A wound reopened, but also, in a strange way, a step toward closure. Her mother, once haunted by unanswered questions, now found solace in knowing the truth, even as it broke her heart. In a private vigil, Emma's family gathered at the edge of the woods where her story had begun and ended. They lit candles, shared memories, and released lanterns into the night sky, each one carrying a whispered hope for peace. The investigation's conclusion rippled through the community. Neighbors who'd once looked to the police for protection struggled with feelings of betrayal, but also rallied together in support of the Sloan family. Local volunteers painted a mural in Emma's honor, transforming pain into a message of remembrance and resilience. The case became a catalyst for change, prompting reforms in the police department and renewed commitment to transparency. For the investigators, the cost was personal. Some questioned their instincts, haunted by what they'd missed. Others vowed to fight harder for justice, carrying Emma's memory as a reminder of the stakes. Through grief and anger, a new sense of unity emerged, one forged in hardship, but strengthened by the resolve to never let another case go unanswered. As the seasons changed, so too did the town. The scars remained, but so did the lessons learned. And for Emma's loved ones, the journey toward healing had finally, quietly, begun. As the seasons changed, Millwood found its way back to life, the shadows of the past finally giving way to gentle light. Emma Sloan's case, once a haunting mystery, became a story of hope, proof that a community's determination can bring even the darkest secrets to light. Detective Hayes' secrets were finally exposed, and with them, the town's trust was restored. His honors were stripped, but the truth set Millwood free. Under new leadership, the police department transformed. Transparency and accountability became the foundation for a safer future. Emma's family, forever changed, found comfort in each other and in the support of their neighbors, learning to live with loss while honoring her memory. Her mother's voice rose above grief, becoming a guiding light for families still searching, her advocacy bringing hope and change far beyond Millwood. The mural in the town square blossomed into a living tribute, a place where the community gathered to remember, to heal, and to promise, never again. The investigators, changed by the case, dedicated themselves to justice with renewed purpose, vowing to never let another story go unheard. Some stayed, protecting Millwood with vigilance and care, while others moved on, carrying Emma's memory as a reminder of the difference truth can make. Each found their own way to honor her, their lives forever intertwined by the search for answers. Some mysteries, like the anonymous caller and the shadowy figure, remained unsolved but no longer haunted the town. They became part of its story, not its burden. For the first time in years, Millwood found peace, accepting that not every question needs an answer to move forward. Emma's story became more than a warning. It became a lesson in courage, compassion, and the strength of a united community. The town's bonds grew stronger, forged by shared loss and the promise to protect one another, ensuring Emma would never be forgotten. Each year as lanterns rose into the night, their light carried a message. From darkness, hope is born, and together, we heal. And so, the story of Millwood and Emma Sloan came full circle. The scars remained, but so did the strength to heal and the promise that no one would ever be lost to silence again.